Hello Power Rangers fans and welcome back to Toku Topics. Today I have a box from Hasbro Pulse. So this should be all 4 of the figures in the Retro Megazords Wave 2. So these are Walmart exclusive items. However, they are available on Hasbro Pulse, and I don't actually think Walmart has shipped them out yet. I don't even know if they've actually been spotted in Walmarts yet, to be honest. But basically, yeah, I decided to go and get them from Pulse because I wanted to get some videos done here before MorphCon begins, and I also wanted to bring these up to have on my display in the upcoming year of college I'm about to go into. And I don't know, Walmart was just taking forever, and it was like 30 cents more to get it from Pulse based off of the pre-order prices, and so I was like, alright, whatever. So I have them all here. So is this all of them? Yes, it is. So we have the Mega Tigerzord. We have the black and gold Megazord, we have the white Tigerzord, and finally here there should be Dragonzord in Battle Mode, or whatever they call it, yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this box out of here and take a look at these guys. Alright, so here's all 4 of them out of the Hasbro Pulse box, and these look gorgeous. So while I do absolutely despise the fact that this entire wave is Mighty Morphin, it's so frustrating because like this wave is really cool, and I do like all of these entries, but like I would have rather these be spread out. And what's really unfortunate too is that we don't have any listings for a 3rd wave, so these might end here, which is very unfortunate if that's the case because I actually really like these quite a bit. The first wave was excellent. It had the Dino Megazord, which, you know, is here again. There's a lot of mold reuse and everything in this wave, which we will definitely take a look at. And it's like, these are all valid ones to get, like I said, but like, you know. So going ahead and starting with, I guess, the one that's technically not valid out of the ones that are here, and that is this. So this is the Dino Megazord in a black and gold color scheme, which I love it, honestly. I really do like how this one looks quite a bit. I've always liked the original Megazord in the black and gold color scheme. When Bandai did it in the 90s, when Bandai did it in the Legacy line, when Hasbro even, I guess, doing it in the Zord Ascension line with the NFT. But here we go. Here is the easiest way to get a Hasbro black and gold Megazord, and I really do like it. As you can see here, this wave has plastic-free packaging, except tape and glue, which is different from the first wave. And also bringing in the original box for the Dino Megazord. They did give it new artwork. So they didn't just like Photoshop it a different color. So I can definitely give them a lot of credit for that. Because, you know, it would have been super easy for them to have just reused the artwork into like Photoshop with a different color. But it's almost like they're kind of like sort of mirrors of each other. You know, it's almost like this is an evil Megazord or something. But they even changed like the position of Rita on the box and everything like that. Now these ones were not plastic free. I think these came out in like March or something. It was sometime earlier this year. But now we have the Dino Megazord one here in black and gold, and as you can see, it just says Dino Megazord black and gold, Dino Megazord black and gold. More stuff about the plastic free. This still has the whole VHS thing going on here. There is the barcode for it if you need that for any reason. It's just black on the top, and then we have a picture of it back there, which is that the same picture as on the back of the first one? It might be. Yeah, that is pretty much just a Photoshop of it in a different color. Which, you know, that's fine. It doesn't need to be anything super crazy. So it does say that the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers combine their Dinozords to form the Dino Megazord. So there it is in there, and I haven't really tested out how the plastic-free packaging is going to work, but see, because these ones, the original ones weren't even really, they were basically plastic-free packaging already anyway. They didn't really have like a plastic tray or anything in there necessarily. So this is pretty much going to probably just be it floating around with tissue paper, and you can hear the sword rattling around in there already. Continuing on from Season 1 of Mighty Morphin, we have the Dragonzord, which does say in Battle Mode down there. So this is not just like regular Dragonzord, this is when it's combined with the Megazord. And this is personally one of my all-time favorite Megazord combinations, so I'm definitely perfectly happy with having this here. And that's another thing too, I would have preferred us to get more unique Megazords before we started getting into combinations, but since I do like this one quite a bit, I can give it a pass. Now, they do still have this really awesome feature. The artwork on these has always been incredible, but they still have the main season villain there, so there's Rita once again, and then they have the monster in silhouette, the first monster that this Megazord or combination or whatever it may be ever fought. So we have that monster there, which bad fan, don't remember which one that is. I'm sorry, John Green of Grin Ranger, if he's watching this, he would know. But I'm going to put the name of it up on screen right now, though. But I do really like that they have that feature. And I think it's been pretty accurate so far, so I'll give them that. So, of course, we have Dragonzord Battle Mode there again. Dragonzord Battle Mode. And on the back you can see it does have the big staff weapon. And it looks pretty good painted wise. You know, it's the legs even might be a little bit more painted than on the regular Megazord, honestly. Or I mean, it's probably comparable. We'll definitely check that out. But it says the Dragonzord combines with the Mastodon, Triceratops, and Saber-toothed Dinozords to form Dragonzord Battle Mode. So no regular Dragonzord and no Mega Dragonzord where it becomes the shoulder armor, which I'm kind of surprised because the Mega Dragonzord would have probably taken technically less new molding, sort of, kind of, but yeah. And then moving on to Season 2 of Mighty Morphin, we have the White Tigerzord. So there it is right there. See, like this one's perfectly valid, perfectly good with getting this one here, and I do love this combination quite a bit. And you have Lord Zed there, the main Season 2 villain, and then you have, it kind of continues onto the side there, the first monster that this one ever fought, which I feel like I remember, but I don't remember the name perfectly, so it'll just be up on screen right now. Once again, I'm not as good with my Mighty Morphin monsters, or just monsters in general. And then we have the White Tigerzord Warrior Mode, and I do like that, like, city kind of backdrop artwork it's got going on there. And as you can see on the back, he has his sword, and that looks fantastic. Like, I really can't think of too many paint details that it didn't get there. And we have the White Tigerzord morphs into warrior mode to battle giant-sized monsters. You bet it does. And then continuing on from that, and also from the Thunder Megazord from Wave 1, we have the Mega Tigerzord, which is another combination that I really do like. And this one probably technically has the most new molding, even though the legs are probably exactly the same as the Thunder Megazord. And we, like I said, we'll take a look at all of that. But that looks awesome. Love how that looks there. You got Zed there once again, and then you do have the monster there. Oh, did they fight the same? Did he combine that in his first battle? I don't remember, actually. It might be the same one. I don't recall that much about White Light, to be honest. We just have Mega Tigerzord. And on the back, you do get the Firebird weapon there, which is awesome. And once again, looks really good paint-wise, except for the legs, but those are just reused. And then when the White Tigerzord combines with 4 of the Thunderzords, it forms the mighty Mega Tigerzord. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and open these up. We're going to take a look at each of them individually and compare them with any Wave 1 counterparts that use similar or the exact same molding. So I'm in the middle of opening them up, and it's exactly what you would expect it to be. It's just wrapped in tissue paper, just floating around in there. So, we are well on our way. Oh, hey, there's the sword. So here are the Megazords out of the box, and first impressions, I really like these quite a bit. So I did not mention it in the first part of the video, but these are $16.99 on Hasbro Pulse, and I think they're like $16.97 or something like that on Walmart, which I do believe is a price increase from the first wave. And it is somewhat pricey for what you get here, but I feel like there's a lot of good paint details on these ones, and like the sculpting is fantastic, but they still do kind of lack in articulation here. Also, as you can see, compared to the first wave, there's a little bit of assembly required on some of them, which they do have little instructions for, as you can kind of see on the back of the backdrop there on the side of it. So we'll get to that when we get to those ones. But we'll go ahead and start with the black and gold Megazords. So also we'll show off the backdrop. So all of these, the inside of the box, is a nice little like display backdrop, which I think is really cool that they continued that from the first wave, because you can still easily do that with the whole plastic-free packaging, since it is just, you know, a piece of cardboard. So I do like this backdrop. It's kind of like, you know, reddish sky. It's almost like a sunset kind of thing or something, and I quite like it. And as you can see, they still continued the whole VHS packaging aesthetic thing that they had from the first wave. I still don't really get the point of that, but they do it anyway, and it doesn't like hurt anything, so it's fun. So it says Dino Megazord Volume 1 and 2. You get this little drawing of the Dino Megazord up there, which is very fun, and they just kind of get the whole look of a VHS tape. And I will also give Hasbro a lot of credit for the fact that while the Megazord itself is pretty much a repainted reuse of the first one, this packaging is not. So here is a comparison. This is the Wave 1 original Megazord one. So they even like have different kind of fonts on the VHS like writing, which is really neat. And on the sticker, it's like a different color and different font. Very cool. And even the backdrop, the little display backdrop is completely different. It's not just like a photoshopped version or anything. So definitely shout out to Hasbro for that one. You know, they could have really went the easy way, the cheap way out with that one, but they did not. So I like that. That's really cool. But here it is, and I like it. I like it a lot. So this Megazord, of course, doesn't appear in anything. I'm honestly shocked that they haven't done this in like the Boom comics or something like that at this point. But while I'm not very happy about this taking up a wave slot, since it is just a repaint of something that doesn't necessarily exist, I've always liked the Megazord in this color scheme, so I will take it. It's also one of the cheapest ways to get this in the color scheme, because the only other options are like I said earlier, the 90s one, the Legacy one, the NFT one. So, this probably would have worked as like a nice convention exclusive or something, but I'm not too upset that it's here, and plus you can skip it if you don't want it and just get the 3 new ones. So, there's an option. Also, what's really interesting is that every time somebody does this version of the Megazord, they always add like a little bit of their own flair to it, and Hasbro this time has added a lot more red in the waist part. It almost kind of retains some of the original pterodactyl coloring there. But I think the red really works in the mastodon and the eyes of everybody there. And yeah, I quite like it. So, really nice. And when we compare it to the original Megazord, it is the exact same mold from the Wave 1 version, as you would expect. However, there's some interesting little changes you might not have expected. So as you can see here, they did not paint anything right there, but they did paint a little bit more there this time. So that's kind of interesting. The gold is a little bit different, or it's like a gold now compared to like a yellow. So that is a little bit different on the arm there. On the back, I thought was really interesting. So in the original one, they painted half of the Triceratops treads there black. Here, they don't really have to do that because it's all cast in black plastic. So they actually painted a little bit of the saber tooth that they did not paint the last time. So I thought that was quite interesting. And for the most part, though, the sides are painted the exact same as the original one, just, in the new color scheme. And same thing on the leg of the saber tooth. So nothing too crazy there. However, the legs are always very bare on the original release here, because they didn't paint any of the eyes or any kind of facial details, but they did paint eyes and stuff in the little nose on the saber tooth on this new one. So I think that really helps it stand out and make it just look and feel a little bit more complete. So I definitely can very much appreciate that being added to this version. So when it comes to articulation on these guys, it's pretty standard across all of them, and it's obviously, since it's the same mold, the same as the original release. So the arms can rotate all the way around. The shoulder pad can move a little bit, so you can move the arm out like that, and then the hand can rotate around all the way. You can move the arm all over the place. The head can just rotate all around. It's not on a ball joint or anything, it just rotates around. No waist movements or anything like that. The legs kind of have articulation, although I've never really understood the point, because you really can't get it into many poses that doesn't just kind of try to, flop back. It doesn't really, you pretty much kind of just have to have them stand there and not really do much. But, that's probably my biggest gripe of these guys, is the fact, and the same thing with the first wave, is that they just don't have much articulation. If they had more articulation, I think these would be a lot better. And then, of course, his accessory is the Power Sword cast in gold plastic. It is the exact same one as the Wave 1 one, which was just a nice gray plastic. So we can go ahead and put that in his handle. We'll switch it up a little bit. We'll put it in the opposite hand, because this is like the evil version or something. I don't know. Whatever you want this one to be. So you can have him hold it. It looks pretty good. And like I said, it's definitely skippable if you don't feel like you need this version of it. But I quite enjoy it. So we'll put him right back in there. Actually, we'll tilt the head a little bit. So there he is in his little backdrop. And next up, we have the Dragonzord in battle mode. And this one is pretty cool. So this looks great. Actually, look at that. They painted the eyes and stuff on the Sabertooth and Triceratops. So this is a lot of mold reuse from the first one we took a look at, and of course the original one from Wave 1. But obviously the entire torso is completely different, because obviously it's the whole Dragonzord thing, which is painted very, very nicely. I like how that turned out a lot. You don't have any Dragonzord eyes or anything painted in there, or anything on the little crest, but you do have all the sculpting there, even where the tail detaches and stuff, which is pretty cool. You kind of have a little hinge there and everything. So the head can still rotate around. It's definitely a thicker head, so it doesn't... See, this one almost kind of does feel like it's on a ball joint. It wants to kind of rotate a little bit, but, still not much movement there. The arms still are the same. There's nothing that really gets in the way with those. The legs, see, that almost feels like that moves up more than it, I don't know. I feel like this one you can actually have the legs exposed a little bit more. It's like the leg joint wants to work, but then, it doesn't really have much clearance to do so. So it's almost like they did put in good articulation, kind of, but you just can't access it. It's very strange. But I do like how this turned out quite a bit. And if you're curious about the comparisons, so as you can see, the arms are the same mold. Pretty sure, yeah. But they did, for some reason, probably just because they already used this gold, they painted the yellow gold, which, it still looks completely fine, but it's technically not accurate. They also gave him silver hands, which I don't think that is accurate. I don't really know where that's coming from. So that's interesting. So you'd think they'd just reuse the same hands. They are the same hands, but they're just silver now? So that's interesting. The legs are the same for the most part once you get to this part. Because the little thing that goes over the top of the Triceratops and Sabertooth is molded onto the whole joint here, which is completely different because it has the dragon coin. molded in and everything. So that just kind of continues off of there. So they didn't remold the legs or anything. Look at that. Oh, wow. This one has not only half the treads painted, it has all the treads painted, and it has that paint application that was on the black and gold one. So they definitely gave the figures a little bit of a paint upgrade for this wave compared to the original wave. They painted the Sabretooth the same on that side, but like I said, they did give them eyes, which was not on the original release. So yeah, like I said, it's kind of taking the best of both worlds. Well, I guess really just kind of the best of that one. So, you know, all the improvements of that one and applying it to the older one. So, pretty cool. This one, let me try to get him to stand up a little bit more straight. He does come with a weapon. And also, let's take a look at his backdrop while we're at it. So here he is, just this nice, like, kind of cloudy sky backdrop. But inside, it shows a little bit of a assembly required for the weapon. And then as you can see here, Dragonzord, Volume 1, Volume 2. Dragonzord, I really like that artwork. That's cute. Love that. And then, you know, just continuing the whole VHS motif. So here's the weapon. So it comes in two pieces like that in the box. So all they want you to do is just peg that in there. I feel like you probably could have just already had this assembled in the box, but it's perfectly fine. Obviously, it's sculpted nicely. It's not painted in any way whatsoever, but you do have the little Z there and everything. You have all the sculpting that you would probably want it to have, although it is very hollow on the inside. And then we can just go ahead and slide that straight into his hand there, and he holds it just fine and looks good and ready for whatever sort of little battles he can have with the limited articulation that he has. Next up, we have what might be the best looking one paint wise. This is the Tigerzord in warrior mode from season 2. Wow, like, I mean, obviously very, very bare on the back, but it really doesn't need to have much paint back there. It would have been maybe nice if the leg paint would have continued, but it's good, especially like from the front there. Like, I really can't think of too many details they missed. They even got the little Tigerzord coin painted on the crotch there. The face looks excellent with the little orb inside and everything. Very impressed that they painted the Tigerzord coin on the sides, and the little orbs on the sides too. That's really cool. So very similar articulation. These ones don't get as much out of the way as the other ones, so he really can't use the full arm rotation or the full arm outward movement. It's also permanently at this little angle, so you can't really straighten out the arm or anything like that. It is permanently bent like that at the elbow. The head, just kind of breaking the joint a little bit. It does, of course, still continue to rotate around. Looking good there. Obviously no waist movements or anything. The legs do, like I said, want to kind of move, but really can't. And they're also kind of permanently at this turned sort of angle kind of thing. So it's like they almost package them. They're like basically sort of statues that are like almost pre-posed, and like you can make up a tiny bit of customization to them, if that makes any sense. And then taking a look at his backdrop, you have the nice, like, almost kind of galaxy pattern. I think it looks pretty cool. So I like that. You know, just these random backdrops they include. And then you get the sword, which is once again very nicely molded, not painted in any way or anything, but wouldn't really have expected it to be. So let's see how easy that is to just kind of slide into his hand there. There we go. And you can have him hold that. And he's ready to fight. And looks pretty good. So there he is. And this one is entirely a new mold. 100%. Because even on the next one, there will be some new molding for the Tigerzord parts. So everything here is entirely new compared to the ones we've had before, which had some reuse or complete reuse. So definitely like that. And there he is. Which he won't go back in his box with the sword like that. So let's try that again. There we go. And then finally, we have the Mega Tigerzord, which this one looks really good as well. I mean, I know it's kind of the same thing I keep saying over and over again. But ooh, it's a nice ratchet on that one. And they do quite move out of the way. It almost looks like the transformation where like these fold down. It's kind of funny. But speaking of which, they have assembly required on this one too. Which actually, hold on, I don't think I showed off the the Tigerzord. My bad. White Tigerzord, Volume 1 and 2. Oh, I love the little tiger tail and the R. White Tigerzord. And there he is. So, my bad. Almost forgot to show off the VHS feature. How could I? But yeah, speaking of the backdrop, it's very similar to the Tigerzord one. It is different. But, you know, I have that kind of galaxy pattern and everything in there. And then here on the side, they show you have to assemble the Thunderzord, like, shoulder pads, which we'll do in a second. And we have the Mega Tigerzord Volume 1 and 2. Mega Tigerzord, which is a very crude drawing of it there. But I do like that a lot. It's fun. I'm sure they have fun in the packaging department, coming up with the artworks and stuff like that for those. So let's go ahead and attach those. Ooh, tigers are trying to fall in the background. Come on, tigers, we already went over you. Let's see. So I think they just... Ooh, okay. I don't really like the sound of that. Oh, wow. That... Interesting. So that gets rid of the articulation when you do that. Because that, when you ratchet that in... Huh. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Yeah, that gets rid of the articulation. Does it do that on this side? Yeah, it does. So that kind of locks them in. It finishes the look, but then he has his arms so I almost feel like you want to... Well, no, I don't think I can take this out again. Well, that's a little strange. I mean, I was going to have his arms up anyway. But... Oh, well... kind of... Okay. Sure. Sorta. Okay. So, not bad. I do really like the paint detailing and everything there. They did get it accurate to where the chest kind of opens up a little bit more. They actually did not paint the tiger head as much as they did on the original one, but that's fine. They did get the new head and everything correct. They still painted it there. I'm pretty sure... yeah, pretty much from like here downward is complete reuse of this, although he also has silver hands. That can't be accurate, right? Where the combinations get silver hands, but the original ones don't. That's very strange. But like I said, they still have the coin and stuff painted there. This is also a new mold because this also kind of expands. It's still painted there. It might be a little smaller coin there. The leg articulation is, like I said, still kind of in there, but not really. And then the head you can still move. And it has very, very nice paint applications on that one. I like that quite a bit. But for the rest of its mold reuse, that comes from this guy right here, which is the Thunder Megazord from Wave 1. The shoulder pads are not the same. I don't think so. I think they're smaller. Pretty sure that they're smaller. Yeah, they definitely are smaller. So they remolded those, which I didn't expect them to necessarily reuse these, but they did reuse the legs for sure. Maybe it's a slightly different shade of blue and yellow, but they also didn't paint them really any differently whatsoever. They didn't give them extra paint or anything like that. Compared to the original release, they just reused them, which I expected they would. Why not? So there's that. Weapon-wise, as we'll get Thunder Megazord out of there. Weapon-wise, he comes with the whole Firebird and this little folded-up whatever mode, and I believe he's supposed to hold this. Let me make sure I got that correct. He's supposed to hold it in this hand, I think. So could be a little interesting to try to get this to work. No, that wasn't too bad. I was going to say maybe that was going to be a little difficult, but nah. Not really. So you can also kind of have it rotated if you kind of want it to be sort of like the arrow mode, and oop, there it goes drooping around. So, yeah, I like that. It's a good way to create that weapon, kind of the best you can. With, like I said so many times already, the very minimal articulation. So that's pretty much going to do it for... Ooh. Yeah, he's not standing in there with those shoulder pads. So I wanted to go ahead and show off a comparison with some Lightning Collection figures for scale. So here is the Wave 6 Goldar. As you can see, pretty much in the same scale. So if you do want to have Goldar fight these Megazords, you can, which is really cool. The Megazord is just a little bit taller. And then also if you wanted to recreate Green with Evil when Tommy grows big, it doesn't work as well, but it's not terrible. And then once again, showing you how badly scaled the Lightning Collection monster figures are, these guys tower. So these guys completely tower over the Retro Megazords. It still kind of works. It's not terrible, but, I definitely think that they are still too big for what you would want it to be scaling-wise. So just figured I'd go ahead and show that off a little bit there. So I do quite enjoy these, and I hope that we get a third wave. And I hope that if we do get a third wave, it's not just like Ninja and Shogun, and all the easy ones that they could do. And I don't know, black and gold version of that or something. I'd really like to see them branch out and do other seasons again, because, we got Lost Galaxy last time, and this was excellent. So we can go ahead and bring Lost Galaxy in, and, we had Mighty Morphin again, and Mighty Morphin, so, most of these are Mighty Morphin. And then we also had NinjaCon from Ninja Storm. So we did get a, pretty decent variety last time. So here are all 8 of the Retro Megazords. And like I said, we don't have any more listings for any other ones. So I hope that we get more, because I think that this line has a lot of potential, especially if we can expand and do other stuff. I wouldn't even mind if we still get stuff from the Saban era. In Space would be great in here, Zeo, Turbo. let's do it. I'd love to see more stuff here to have these guys all be in a fun little scale. And while they are very limited in articulation, they look very nice in just like statues for your collection, especially with the backdrops. And I definitely think that Wave 2 got a paint upgrade. And even though I'm not as happy with the selection, I think that they all turned out very nicely, probably better than the first wave in my opinion. So that's all I got. Until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LiveRangerKey or LightningFigPR, and I'd love to know down in the comments below, did you pick up Wave 2? Are you going to pick up Wave 2? Or are you going to skip the repaint? Did you pick up the first wave? What do you think of these guys, and what do you want to see Hasbro do more of if they continue this line? And I'll see you all next time.